Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast. And I think we can all agree, we are absolutely living in the darkest timeline. So, what better time to listen to a podcast about it? In this podcast, though, there will be games, movies, TV, and some stuff from the week when it was recorded. If you're checking us out, great, you're hearing this, and that's cool. But you could show your love by subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting wherever you're getting your podcasts. YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, anywhere, in fact. Means a lot to us, and it's a big help to the channel. Right, let's get cracking. So here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Hello. You alright? You well? I always have to, because of where I'm sitting these days. I have to, no, jeez, that's not going to do it. That was known as headbutting a microphone. Did it sound amazing? Yeah, because of where I'm sitting these days, I have to press the record button and then spend 5 minutes getting in the right position. I still don't think I'm in the right position. Oh, how's your week going? Going good? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Let's start with the yawning. Oh, jeez. I was about to say, what a day. Then I was like, no, it's more like, what a week. And then I jumped straight to what a life. Yeah, more fun and games. But, as we know, and as the way it goes, we'll get to that. Let's talk some other stuff first. So, I started my new workout today. I wrote down on my list new workout excitement. I think I've touched on this before, but oh dear, here we go. I feel like I need another coffee. Started a new workout. So I got to do the first day of the new workout today. No, I am going to own up to things here. I didn't actually do it all. Because I need a piece of equipment that I have and I own. It's just in an awkward place. And yeah, so I had to miss out a couple of exercises, which I don't feel great about, but I counteracted that by working really hard on the other ones. So I'm pretty sure that's fine. That's how it works, yeah. And I do think I've talked about this before, but it's that question of how far can you push something? What is the limit? What is the limit of your body? What is the limit of your drive? What is the limit of your capability? Are you able to do this particular exercise, this particular number of reps, this particular number of sets? Is it going to find your breaking point? Ideally not. But there have been workouts that I've done working up to where I am now where they've come close. Do we remember the one where I thought I'd travelled through time? The time that I tried to do a deadlift personal record. personal best. Yeah, you know. But for all of the wondering and the pondering and the, you know, can you do it? Is this going to reach the max? There is that level of excitement. There is that level of, ooh, let's find out. I can't wait to find out. I got the workout sent to me the back end of last week. Got it printed out and ready, set up, waiting for me today. I conquered that workout, like I say, maybe not fully. I'm looking forward to seeing what tomorrow's like. But, and I didn't write this down, but I have had a conversation about it today, and I was like, maybe this is something that's worth talking about. I think I might have been dealing with something today. Okay, let's just get it. Let's say it. Let's get it out. Today, this week, whichever way you look at it, is the first week in the last couple of months that not only have I not lost weight, I've put weight on. And I think part of me has been trying to be okay with it. And there is actually this much bigger part of me that isn't okay with it. And I think that those two polarizing opposite things have been causing some kind of strange conflict in me today. It's like I'm going, I didn't lose any weight this week. In fact, I put some weight on, but it's okay. I'm fine with it. And I'm not. I'm not okay with it. I had a goal. I had a time frame. I had a target, and all of that centered around the fact that initially I had to reduce my goals and my targets and the way I was doing things. But there was this time frame. It's like if I lose this much in this amount of time, by this point in time, I'll be at my target, at my goal, or whatever, and then I can adjust from there and go from there and work from there. Not losing weight, and in fact putting weight on, goes against all that. You know, I was like, it's simple, it's easy. We just follow this method that's been working up to this point in time. Stick to the diet, stick to the exercise, stick to the working out, stick to the intermittent fasting, stick to the program, and you will succeed. And the last couple of weeks, I think I've known that it's not working. Because your body is your own worst enemy. Your body hates you. This is the thing that I always struggled with. Your body hates you. And your body wants you to fail. So, it works against you. It will get used to different levels of strain. It will get used to different dieting methods. It will get used to different calorie intakes. It will get used to them to the point that it makes them obsolete. If you reduce your calories, your body will decide that it can cope with less calories and move on. After a while, that stops having an effect. And the last couple of weeks, I think last week I was surprised that I lost weight, and I think I screeched in sideways. But But it doesn't surprise me. I think that's part of the thing. I've not been hungry. And that's a sign that my body is gone. Yeah, I can deal with this. I'm used to this now. So there we go. And you should never allow your body to get used to anything. Workout routine, running, any form of exercise you should mix up. And diet especially. And I think that could be the problem. I think that might be what I've been struggling with today, because what I've been struggling with today is I don't think I have an answer for this. I don't think I have a solution, because everything was working and was working well. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do at this point in time. You've got these different options. One option is eat more. I know it sounds silly, I know it sounds ridiculous, but your body burns more when you eat more of a particular kind, because it knows that it doesn't have to store anything, because it knows that where its next meal's coming from and when it's coming and how it's coming. So an option is to eat more, and certain people will tell you need to consume, 4 meals a day and high protein and that sort of stuff. Low carbs. Some people will tell you that you need 30% carbs. It's such a mess of different things. And sometimes I think that nobody really knows the answer. It's just a guessing game. And I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that everybody's different. So that's that. That's where I am with that. You'll have to check in with me next week to see where we are with the weight. I've kind of said to myself and others, I think I'm going to give it another week, and if nothing's changed in a week, then I'll have to do something to change it. Excuse me. My youngest has been poorly. Had no other real way to say it. She had the virus. She had the COVID. So she was isolating. And I reached a point where I was like, I think you're having too much screen time. There was a lot of TV. There was a lot of tablets, phones, like any of that sort of stuff. But I noticed that although she was asking for these things, I noticed that her attention span was very low. She'd want to watch one thing, but then she'd want to watch something else, and then you'd find her like in a different room, not watching any of the stuff that she said. And I also noticed that her behaviour was particularly poor. So I was at the point where I was like, right, okay, I need to do something about this. I said to her, we're going to do something today. My day with her. So this was last week. I was like, we're going to do something today. I was like, in my head, I was like, the objective is to get from the start of the day to the end of the day with no screens. So I was like, right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to get this big piece of paper and we're going to draw all over it. I was like, draw anything you want, use any colours you want, just fill the page with drawing. So, fill the page with drawings. I was like, right, now we're going to turn it over and we're going to cut out shapes. So we're going to cut out stars and squares and circles and triangles and moons and little jagged shapes and all this and the other. I was like, now we're going to stick the multicoloured shapes, which all got all the different colouring and stuff on. We're going to stick those down on coloured card and really makes it pop. You can give one to Nano, one to Grandad. Job done. And it was a fun little time. She got all the way through to lunchtime and sleep time and all of that. And there was this vast improvement in her behaviour over the course of the day. Really engaged. Look, she got a little bit bored of the things that she couldn't do. Things where, like, cutting stuff out with scissors. She can't do that. So she got a little bit bored with that, but ultimately, great activity. A fun time, excuse me, Jesus. A fun time was had by all. But it made me reflect on certain things. It made me reflect on the time that we put into these screen times, and the time that we put our children in front of the TV. That they're allowed on their tablets. My older two have got like children's Kindles, and you can set all these time limits for things. And it's like, oh, we don't want you playing too many games, so you can have unlimited reading, but only like half an hour of games, half an hour of videos, and the Kindle is only on between like 7 o'clock in the morning and I don't know, 7-8 o'clock at night, whatever. They never use it past the morning. Screen time is all well and good, setting all these restrictions, these parameters, these boundaries, apart from when one of your children works out that if you go through all of your game time, go through all your video time, and then switch over to the other child's profile, you get all of that time again, which was very clever. But it was, what a difference it made to sit down as a family and do an activity rather than sit here and watch this whilst this job gets done or that job gets done or whatever. And weirdly, this will tie into something that I'll talk about in a bit. Ironically, this week's movie. So, like I say, this I'm kind of moving on, but kind of sticking in the same area. I make it so that when the older two stay, I try and get all my jobs done. I always say to my eldest, I got all my jobs done so we can spend time together this evening. And that's become like my goal for a Saturday. It's like I have to get my run done, I have to get my workout done, get my shower done, get the dog walked, all this, so that me and my eldest can spend time together. But off the back of all of this screen time stuff, I realised that spending time together was me and her sitting down and watching a movie. You know, it's not always been that, but we've been working through all of these DC animated movies. We worked through the Superman films, stuff like that. But with the stuff with my youngest, got me thinking, and I was like, maybe maybe when I'm saying to my eldest, oh, me and you can spend time together, sitting and watching a movie together is not spending time together. So I asked her about it. I was like, there's this constantly striving to be a good parent and like reviewing and assessing and evaluating whether you're achieving that. So I said to my eldest, I was like, something, I realised that I get everything done so that we can spend this time together, but maybe you don't want to sit and watch a movie. And, she was saying what I was just said, we've been working through these films. She's like, however, I've got an activity I would like to do. I was like, oh my God, whatever you want to do, it's your time, whatever you want to do, you tell me what it is, we'll do it. And she told me what it was. She wanted to spend some time doing some 3D pen. I was like, absolutely, let's do that. So, of course, when it came round to that time, we didn't do that. We sat and played a game. So, more screen time. It was that thing. I think she enjoyed it. But it did turn a little bit into her just saying to me, oh, you do it. So then afterwards, I'm like, the whole idea was to spend quality time together, and I don't know if we did that. And it's this is my point. This is this thing, this constant battle of trying to do the right thing, trying to be a good parent, a better parent, the best parent you can be, trying to do all of that, and I guess failing. And I'm like, well, there's always next weekend. We can use that time wisely next weekend, and we can, And I read to her. We've been working through a book for a little while now, but we are at the back end of it. So there's that. We have that time, but again, ultimately, all that is her listening to me reading badly. Yeah, it's just that thing of, do you ever get it right? Really? Who knows? Hey, guess what? Remember how I've got that car that had 5 tyres in 2 weeks, and it's had a new battery, and it's been to the garage like 8 times in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, so I came out to it Saturday morning. I was like, well, we're off to a good start. All the tyres are inflated. Couldn't open it though, because that wasn't a thing. The central locking wasn't working. Right. This is a bad sign. So had to open the car with a key, an actual physical key. Got in it, put the key in the slot where the key goes, pressing the button, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, like, cool, good job I didn't need the car today to get everybody out and about. Oh wait, no, I did, because we were going to go out. So I was like, I can't deal with this. So I went for a run. I got back, and in the process of working out, I phoned the RAC. RAC said, we'll send somebody. Now remember, people, the RAC have already been out once. I see, we're like, we'll send someone, which they did. This guy came, he had a look, he's like, right, so your battery's been drained by something. He's like, you haven't left something on, you haven't left the radio on, you haven't left the car on. The battery has drained somehow. I'm like, cool. He's like, I can jump it for you. I'm happy to do that. But your car has a fault, and from the RAC perspective, we're not going to come out to you anymore. All right. Brilliant. It's like, what can I do? He's like, you need to start it if it'll start and leave it running for an hour. He's like, leave it running for an hour now. Run it then this evening for an hour. And do that morning and evening every day up until you can get it seen. And I'm like, well, that sounds amazing. Nearly ended up causing everybody to have a really, 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 really good sleep last night. Because when I got back, I put the car on, and the car is parked at the garage door. Obviously, the car then starts pumping carbon dioxide into the garage. And then, one part I go into the kitchen, I'm like, what's that smell? Jesus, everybody was nearly having a really good lie-in the morning. So I phoned them. I'm like, look, I need to get my car seen to, and the only way I can do that now is by bringing it to a registered dealer. They were like, okay, what's the problem? I ran through all the problems, and they were like, okay, that sounds interesting. I was like, oh yeah, it's interesting. She was like, it sounds like you need to get it seen soon. I was like, yeah. She's like, can you bring it today? I was like, hell yeah. So I took the car, got it seen, and apparently the thing that's been draining the battery, the problem with all of the electrical systems is just needed an update. Just needed a software update. I can only imagine what I must have sounded like on the phone when they told me that. I'm like, really? Yeah, it just needs a software update. Shall we do that? I'm like, that's what's causing all the problems. Yeah, it just needs a software update. Shall we do it? So that will solve all the problems. Yes. And it's only going to cost you this much. I'd budgeted hundreds and hundreds of pounds for this. Like, it's only going to cost you this much. Right. Well, if you think that's going to solve all the problems, you go ahead and do that. So they did it, and they phoned me and told me to come and collect it, which I did. I was like, while I'm here, just do a value on this for me, will you? Because I'm absolutely going to get rid of it. So there we go. All the problems are fixed. Other than the fact that the software update has changed the sound the indicators make. It now locks all the doors when you set off, which it never used to. Wiped on my trip computer, which I wasn't overly bothered about. But at one point, it wouldn't tell me how much fuel was in it, which I was like, I could do to know that. But then when I tried it again later, it was like, oh, you've got this much. I was like, cool. That's half of what I had yesterday. So what the hell has gone on there? But hey. So yeah, there you go. Software update. Now the battery will definitely not drain on its own for absolutely no reason. Yeah. Something else, something that I absolutely had to talk about because I nearly cried myself to to oh wow. So I took the middle child to a birthday party. No surprises. Lot of birthday parties. To the middle child to a birthday party. It was around the corner, but with the age that she is and the way that parties are these days, they tell you have to stay. So I'm like, okay. So we get there, we go in. Hi, hello, child whose party it is. Here is a gift and a card. You know the deal. It's like, oh, go and play. And I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, so there's some balloons. Balloons are good. Balloons are good for a party. And there's a DJ. Okay. That's, it is what it is. And that was it. I'm like, cool. However, I jumped the gun. Turned out that the DJ wasn't just a DJ. He was an entertainer. And he got all the kids doing like musical games, so musical statues, whatever the one is where you have to sit on the floor, like when the music stops, you have to sit down as fast as you can. They did the conga, all sorts, and then when he picked a winner, they'd have to like make a sound of an animal. It was very entertaining. Watching a load of 4 and 5 year olds trying to work out what the conga actually is was hilarious. I haven't laughed like that in quite some time. So, party was only 2 hours. So there was all these games. That basically filled the first hour. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Then they brought the food out. And as anybody knows about this sort of thing, food is where everything goes quiet. And it probably fills half an hour. So there's half an hour left. And I'm like, what are they going to do for the last half an hour? So, not only is the DJ not just a DJ, he is an entertainer. He is also a magician. I was shocked, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you, I was shocked. So, I'm going to show you some magic tricks. Now, let's go through what's happened so far. We've had a load of games where the prizes were sweets. We had food where there was a good, healthy portion of sugary treats. And there's about 30 kids. Do you know what 30 kids hopped up on sugar don't give two shits about? Really, really, really bad magic tricks. Now, bless him, he was trying, he really was, but these kids could not have given less of a shit. You've got the one child who sat right at the front that just wants to ruin every part of it, wants to be involved, wants to do it all this, that and the other. And the guy's just getting more and more wound up. Must have told this kid to sit down about 10 times. Did a card trick, and the kid just did not get it. And at the point that he was like, "Is this your card?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you sure?" And all the other kids like, "It's not." And then when it was his card, he's like, "Is this your card?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure?" "Yeah." Like, "Are you sure this isn't your card?" Like, "It's not my card." And then some of the other kids were, "It's your card." it was indoors, so I had a mask on, and I was so glad I did because I was howling with laughter. I had to cover my mouth, even with my mask on, to mask how much I was laughing. It was hilarious. Oh, man. Funny. So, there you go. Let's talk some entertainment stuff. I finished Series 3 of What We Do in the Shadows. I think I need to say this, and I think I need to get it out, and I think I just need to be done with it. I didn't enjoy the third series as much as I've enjoyed the first two. I felt that it was struck hard by the third series bug, which is we never thought we were going to get this far. We really don't have a clue what we're doing. Let's just mix everything up because that's what people want. What is probably my favourite character, which is Matt Berry's character, Laszlo, basically had no purpose for the entire series. Even though he was in it, it felt like he wasn't. It was weird. Colin Robinson, who was like another favourite character, by the end of Series 3, I was like, you just annoy the shit out of me. You are just the character that you are. You're just annoying and dull. But whereas in the first two series, that's what kind of made him like a good character. In the third series, it's like, no, you're just the character you're playing. You're annoying, you're dull, and I can't be doing with you. And then Nandor was just miserable for the entire series. And Nadja was just like, I mean, who really knows? In my opinion, I feel it was a bit of a mess of a series, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I felt it just didn't really have any kind of direction, and that showed. It just showed that it was just like, we don't really know what we're doing, and we just keep giving you more episodes and hoping that it's okay. I was not disappointed when it ended, other than the fact that I was disappointed with it as a series. I know that they've signed up to do at least 2 more. That just worries me more than anything. I'm just worried about that. I took all the girls to the cinema. The 2 younger children have been very insistent that they wanted to go to the cinema. I think the middle child, I think she really loves the experience, and my youngest, I think she, I think for her she's like she's had nothing but good experiences with it, but it's kind of like she's waiting to have a bad experience. The cinema's a lot darker than I remember it being. It can be very pitch black, and it can be, it can be very loud. And she's a little person, not a little person. She's just, she's young. So it's kind of like she keeps like wanting to go to have that experience, but at the same time she's a bit like, is it going to be bad at some point, or is she going to end up being scared at some point? Anyway, we went to see a film that at some point I saw a trailer for. I went, that looks all right. And when I've shown them the trailer for it, they've always been like, oh yeah, that looks really good. So we went to see a film called Ron's Gone Wrong. No real spoilers here. I'm sure you could get this from the trailer, but Ron's Gone Wrong is about a world where there are these things called B-bots. And a B-bot is a little robot that follows you around and basically does all of your social media stuff. It gets your emails for you. It does, like, if you want to like go live on Instagram, you can just tell it to do that and it'll do it. And you can customize them, and some things like times you can ride around on them. Fun. And the kid in it, Barney, wants a Bebop, but his family's poor, and his dad and his grandma end up managing to get him one. Problem being is that there is some code missing in Ron, and he doesn't have all of these or it doesn't have all the programming that all the others do. And it's a story about Barney, the kid, trying to teach Ron how to be his friend. That's it. There you go. Now, here's a thing. Something that I found interesting recently is that films are talking about stuff that is very much a thing, but they're doing it in such a way that it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's a thing, that's okay. Here's what I mean. Remember when I was talking about Free Guy, and I was like, the film was very meh. However, they put a character in it who seemed to be a portrayal of every, like the head of every game company out there, like big game company out there at the moment, that just basically does not give a shit about the player. All they care about is the money. As long as they're making money, they don't care about the players. And I felt it was a very telling thing that character was in that film. But they've also kind of slipped it under the radar as well. So, in Ron's Gone Wrong, there's a point toward the back end where they start talking about how, like, all these things, the social media side of stuff, all the, it's a little bit of a spoiler. I've realised too late. I've gone down this path and then realised too late it's a bit of a spoiler. How do I put this? Let's put it like this. There's a conversation about data collection. And I'll have to leave that there. I thought for a film that's not... It wasn't Disney and it wasn't DreamWorks. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a very entertaining film. I think I spoke previously about, we watched The Addams Family 2 and it didn't really do a lot for me. I know I'm not its target audience. Although, I took 3 children to see it going, do you have any concept of what The Addams Family is? Everybody seemed to enjoy it. My youngest thought the robot was a dog, apparently, which made the 2 hours we sat and watched that film interesting. Like, she got home and she was like, "Oh, the dog was broken." I'm like, it wasn't a dog, it was a little robot, but hey. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and what I will say is this: if you have children, great film to take children to see. As a parent, very much one of those that there's a lot in there for parents as well. I'll probably put that there. Like, again, going, everything's connected. The dad just trying to connect with his child and wanting to be there for him and support him and stuff. Obviously that spoke to me in everything I've already talked about. Was it only last week that I said I was going to get cracking with Forza 5? Have I not talked about Forza Horizon 5 yet? Interesting. I have, in fact, been playing Forza Horizon 5. Shortest version is It's a Forza Horizon game. It's as simple as that. However, 2 negative points I want to get across now. The loading times on this game are insane. It's like, right, let's do a race. And then like 5 minutes later, you're like, cool, let's do that race that I wanted to do 5 minutes ago. So, and obviously, you know, the game is loading like massive amounts of stuff. It's a massive game. And when I downloaded it, it was 109 gig. I put that the map is quite hard to, I've written down to fine tune. What I mean is sometimes when you're trying to select stuff in like really busy areas, you just can't put the cursor on the thing. But it's one of those, I presume. It's also designed for mouse and keyboard, so maybe there's that element. Maybe the console suffers from that. So those are like the negatives. Positive wise, I mean it's a good, solid, well-made driving game. What more do you want? If you like driving games, if you've played the other 4 Forza Horizon games, you're going to like it. You're going to love it. It's great. You start off by jumping out of a plane in a car. What more could you ask for? Collecting vehicles, loads of fun. Getting like upgrades and stuff for your cars, loads of fun. Unlocking different parts of the Horizon Festival, fun. It's yet again another example of when just having fun is the good stuff. Something that I'm maybe not, I don't know, too proud of to admit. I have lost more than a couple of hours to the auction house. I find it's like when I used to go on eBay and buy stuff, it turns into I just want to win. And I've like, I think I've won the same car twice a couple of times. But I just find like, oh, that car's a bargain, and then I try and buy it for like cheap, and then somebody bids against me, so I have to like up my bid, and then it's just like, who can get there the quickest to win the car for a bargain? And the number of times I've been bidding against somebody, and then they just buy the vehicle outright, because you'll always get it cheaper than buying it from like the in-game store. It's like, cheater. So yes, I may have lost more than a couple of hours to the online auction house, but again, it's fun. I spent a little bit too much time trying to buy the Hoonie truck last night, and then promptly won one, and then after that turned the game off. Yeah, it's just good. It's good, solid, wholesome driving fun. Unlike, I really wanted to get Dirt 5 a little while ago, and because I've paid a whole £1 to pay Game Pass for a month, I was like, oh my god, Dirt 5's on here. I can get it for what's essentially free. I downloaded it. I played one race on it. It is awful. And all I could think was, I am so glad I didn't buy this game. I think I might have actually uninstalled it already. It was terrible. I couldn't believe it was an actual game. Another game that I've downloaded and played a little bit, I don't know if I'm going to go back to it because it wasn't brilliant. I downloaded the Master Chief Collection just so that I could play the first Halo. End of the day, when you're remastering a game that's 4 generations old, there's only so much you can do with it, really. And it shows, you know. It's an old game, let's put it that way. After playing it for a little while, I was kind of getting into it a bit, but I was a bit like, there's so many other things I could be playing right now. So I kind of turned it off, and I haven't been back to it. Another game that I played is Mech Warrior 5. I do like a nice mech game. This one wasn't brilliant. To me, mechs walk in a certain way. So you can move the legs independently of the body. And if you turn things in a certain direction, you walk in that direction. Job done. Everyone's happy. This had that. This had the torso and the legs were independent of each other. But for some reason, I just couldn't get it to walk properly. And bearing in mind, when you're playing a mech game, the walking around is quite a big part of it. I just couldn't really get to grips with it. And I felt like it was like a fundamental flaw of the game. For funsies, I downloaded SSX, the Xbox 360 game. I was like, oh my god, I remember playing this, and I remember it being shed loads of fun. Downloaded it partially as a joke, partially as let's have a look and see how it holds up. And was not disappointed. Everybody in the house has been having a go on SSX. Like everyone. Like, obviously me and Lan used to play it a lot originally. And then it's kind of like passing the torch, handed it on to another generation of gamers, which is a lot of fun because certainly the older two really got into it, really enjoyed it. That was the game that me and my eldest were playing on Saturday. Even the youngest had a go, told me she was doing tricks, which she actually was. It was brilliant. So there we go, quite a lot of games. Unfortunately, not a lot of them overly highly rated. As is the same week in, week out, I will continue playing Forza Horizon 5, and I'll continue updating you with anything I feel is relevant. But that's it. That's the podcast done. I'm going to catch you guys next week. Fingers crossed. Right, there we go. Catch you guys later. Bye. So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done. Another week gone. Where does the time go? Thank you for listening along with me. And a big thank you to those of you who are a subscriber to the podcast. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and it means a lot to us. So thank you if you are already a subscriber. You can check us out on our website, thecookiecast.com. You can find social media and email links, so you can drop us a line and let us know how you're getting on. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.